travel across a vast expanse on horseback and defeat 16 massive beings known simply as colossi in order to restore the life of a girl named Mona. No characters with which to interact, and no enemies to defeat other than these colossi. Now, Shadow of the Colossus has been described as a puzzle game, as each colossus weakness must be identified and exploited before it can be defeated. This title is actually cited as a very influential title in the video game industry, and is regarded as an important work of art due to its minimalist landscape designs, immersive gameplay, and emotional journey. If you're not familiar with this game, it is very important as a game designer or game developer to study this game. See the difference, the footsteps between you, the protagonist, and a giant colossus monster. You also want to think about creating a variety of surface types and how footsteps sound differently on those surfaces. So, me on this surface is different than me running on grass, is different than me running on hard dirt, is different than me running in sand. Also take into consideration how different weather models might affect those surface types, and therefore your movement sounds. For example, hard dirt turning into mud when it rains. Now, one thing I want to point out is a very cool thing. So, players of games do think a lot about footsteps, and it is important to them. And in fact, there was a letter that a player had written to the folks that make Mass Effect. And in fact, the letter was called 8 Things That Would Make Mass Effect 2 Better Than Its Predecessor. And number 5 was less generic footsteps. And I will read to you what this game player said. I never realized how important it is to hear the footsteps of your character while you're stomping around in the game. To be more precise, how important it is to hear those footsteps reflect the surface that you're walking on. Mass Effect is a very limited sound library to draw from when it comes to these footsteps. I would say that it is barely more than your average first-person shooter from, say, 8 or 9 years ago. The choices for the different walkable surfaces are metallic, stone, snow, and water. These would cover most of the game, were it not for the fact that a large portion of these surfaces appear to be metallic. Whether you are the Normandy, the Citadel, or on a route leading up to some mine, it all sounds exactly the same. With the amount of walking that you do in Mass Effect, the lack of variety can really get on your nerves. Even changing the pitch of the sound somewhat for different surfaces would have improved things dramatically. Very interesting from a consumer.